that those who miss the class tonight can watch the replay. They can watch the replay. So that's been sorted out. It's been recorded. It's time to share the outline with us. A very short and brief outline. So you're all welcome. It's nice having everyone here with us tonight as we examine how to break into tech without a tech background. How to break into tech without a tech background. And I'll be sharing with you the outline for tonight's session. So how to break into tech. How to break into tech as a cybersecurity professional in the United Kingdom without a tech background. In the United Kingdom, let's say in the UK, without a tech background. Okay, so number one is, who am I? I've been doing this now for 6 years, but I still know that many of you out there don't know me. So I would share a few things about myself. Number two, overview of digital consulting. And I also call it, who are we? Overview of digital consulting, who are we? Then number three, why tech? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Why tech? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Then number four, what exactly is cybersecurity? What exactly is cybersecurity? Number five, how to break into cybersecurity. How to break into cybersecurity. Then number six, next steps. Then seven, questions and answers. And I'll be having with me tonight Shegun Ebenezer, Nelson Ojovbo, and two of our students in the United Kingdom who have attended our past programs in the UK. So it's going to be a very wonderful time tonight, a very wonderful time tonight. So I want us to be ready and to be prepared for what we have for us tonight. This session is going to be very, very explosive, very, very explosive. So we don't have so much time. I'll quickly introduce myself. So Yomi, for those who don't know me, I'm a tech trainer, I'm a real estate developer, and I'm a pastor. And tonight I am operating in the role of a tech trainer, and I run Digital Consulting, which I've been running now for the past 6 years. Digital Consulting operates in 3 continents, North America, Europe, and Africa. So tonight's class is for people in the United Kingdom specifically, and whatever we are doing tonight is tailored for those of you in the United Kingdom. So a few things about me, I'll just run through this ASAP because we have a long way to go. So don't mind me if I'm just rushing through, because this is just part of what we are doing, but not the most important thing that we are doing. So I'd love to share a few pictures about, okay, so just a few pictures. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's start with the pictures. Then we can move to other things. So for those who haven't seen me before, this is me right here. This is me, right, the one right here. Recent. Okay, this recent. This is me in church doing my thing. It's me traveling in church, right? Okay, they're about. Okay, they're about that. Okay, so this is at a real estate conference. This was a tech trading. This was pre-COVID, right? So that's that about me. Just a brief overview. What have I been doing before digital started? And I love to share this slide because just like many of you tonight, I wasn't always in tech, and that is why, by the grace of God, as an organization, we have helped a lot of people to transition to tech because I didn't start out in tech. I used to work at PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, as a tax and accounting professional, and I was there for 5 years. Then after that, I got a job as a senior tax accountant with the largest indigenously owned Nigerian oil exploration and production company, and it was a big breakthrough then. But I resigned from the work after 13 months. Why? Because I stumbled into tech. I saw the opportunities in tech, and even though I was in the oil and gas company, I was paid in dollars, allowances in dollars, but it wasn't just enough for me anymore. And I resigned, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made since then. And I will share with you my journey tonight and the journey of our students, our tutors, and every other person. So this is me. I'm married, as you can see. These are very old pictures. I love to travel. This is me in church. These are the start of the church, the very first service. Right. So for those who love inspirational messages, you can check me out on Instagram. I have a page I run on Instagram where I share my church inspirational stuffs, and you can check that out. So you can find me on Omiyale Yomi. That's the verified one. The verified one. So this is my page on Omiyale Yomi. Please take note, the verified one. You can find me here the best way and other stuff. So check this out. So that's that about me. Founder of Digital Consulting. I've said enough already. And that's that. So the next thing on our agenda is what exactly is digital consulting about? What exactly is digital consulting about? So that's an overview of digital consulting. Some of you have known about us before now, but some of you might be getting to know about digital consulting. So let's check out, let's check online and see information we can find about us. So now this is where I need to make some clarifications, right? So because I've done this now for 6 years, and as an organization, we have helped thousands of Africans and non-Africans to transition to tech, to get their first tech job, their remote job, their tech gig, their contract work in the last 6 years. We've actually trained thousands of Africans and non-Africans, and I say this with all sense of joy. But at times when people reach out to us who are interested in registering for our programs, I hear things like, oh, you know, digital, Sam, I listened to you, I listened to your webinar, and oh, you sound very deep. You understand what you're talking about. I can see that level of depth. But you know, I attended a training like that with an organization, and you know, they promised us and they said a lot of sweet things. But at the end of the day, we just realized that they just wanted to take our money, and it was a waste of my time. Am I sure that digital is not going to be like that? So here's what I always tell them. You register for any program with any organization, as in do your research. And I want to show you the process of doing this research, right? So don't just take what people say, check. So let's check out digital. So first thing is, let's get to Google reviews. Now, here's the rule of the game. If an organization is doing something well, most people will not talk about it really because they paid for it, right? But if an organization is doing something bad, many people will be quick to talk about it. So success leaves traces, failure leaves traces. So the first way we are going to is Google reviews. Let's get on to Google. Once again, you are welcome tonight. This is just a preamble, right? We'll be having like 4 other people that will be here with us tonight to share experience. Nelson will be here tonight. Greg Webiniza will be here tonight. And 2 of our students in the UK too will be joining us tonight. So I want you to know that this is going to be very, very powerful tonight, right? So, but I'm just doing like the intro. I'm doing like the intro, and I'm going to make you an offer tonight that will change your life. The disconnection back, back fully. So as I was sharing, as I was saying the other time, okay. So just like I was saying, tonight we'll be having other tutors with us, and some of our students will also be with us tonight to share their experience with the digital training, right? With the digital training. So, like I said earlier, when you are to register with an organization, some things are very, very important. One of those things is that you need to do research on that organization. You need to do research on the organization. And one of the ways to do that is to check out their Google reviews. Check out their Google reviews and out, right? Check out their Google, right? Very, very, check out their reviews on Google. So when you get to Agital and you search for Agital online, you search Agital Google reviews, you will get this. Just hold on a minute. I'm trying to check a few things. Then when I check it, I'll be able to do that. So hold on a minute. Check out for their reviews. So the first thing we'll do tonight is to check digital Google reviews. The Google reviews on Google. Okay, so we're about to do that now. Check out the Google reviews. So we're going to Google. And when we get there, digital consulting reviews. Digital consulting reviews. Digital consulting reviews, right? So, like I was saying earlier, when good news doesn't spread as fast as bad news, good news doesn't spread as fast as bad news. So let's check this out. Let's quickly do this. Okay, need to do this. Okay. Let me refresh this to be sure that we're on the right spot. On the right. Okay, so okay, so if you go through the reviews here, HR consulting, just take your time and go through the reviews, right? We don't have so much time tonight, but that's one way to find out about organization, to see what they are doing. So check out the Google reviews because these are verified reviews, right? That's the first point, but that's not the only way to find out if an organization is doing well, right? Right. So that's not the first thing. Now, the second thing is you go to LinkedIn. You go to LinkedIn. Why is LinkedIn so important? LinkedIn is very important because on LinkedIn, you can see what the students are up to. So if an organization is claiming, oh, we've done this, we've done that, you can actually see what their students are up to. You can see what their students are up to, right? So we are going to go to LinkedIn. We'll get to LinkedIn and we'll get to see digital consulting students on LinkedIn. Digital consulting students on LinkedIn. So who are our students? What are they done? What are they really? So who are the students and what are they up to on LinkedIn? Okay, so we're right here, digital consulting. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Share. Right. So share my screen. And okay, then when we share my screen, I'll go to digital consulting. Digital consulting. Digital consulting. Right. Digital consulting. So here we go. When we do digital consulting, we search for people. Right. We search for people on digital consulting, but not just people alone. We actually go for posts. Posts will show you more about our people. So here we are seeing Ugweta, Chubebuka, Luanimi Samuel, we are seeing Ogaga Ogbimi. So you can see these are real people. These are real people. We are seeing Peace Anene, we are seeing digital consulting, we are seeing Chigozie Ozoemena, we are seeing Fumilayo Oba, we are seeing Popola Isaac, so these are real people doing real things. We are seeing Chukwu Emeka, Ofo, Odinaka, on and on and on. But because of our time, I might not go into everybody, you know, we are seeing all these people, right? I can just keep going on and on with digital consulting. So these are our students who have gone through our program and who are proud of what. So these are another students. So you can see that this is an organization that is graduating students and the students are happy about what they are learning. Some of them will show their project. So these things are very, very important, right? Anybody can say anything, but do they have verifiable proofs to back it? So if you go through this route, you will understand, okay, this is what you will become when you journey with such an organization. Then the third thing is to also check what they say about themselves, and that is on Instagram. So you can check ours out on Instagram. Then you see more about our students, a few success stories. Many students don't like to share their face, or but we've been able to get quite a good number, right? Some don't want to share their job. They are just very careful. Everything is about consent. But despite that, we've still been able to get a good number of students that are willing to share what they've achieved during the training and after the training. So this is our page, Digital Consulting, on Instagram. You check us out on Instagram and you can see exam success testimonials, job testimonials, and the rest of it. So this will just give you an idea of an organization. So no matter what I say tonight, you can go to these places. You can go to Google reviews. You can check us out on LinkedIn. Just like I said, you see our kind of students, you see what they are doing. Then you can also come on Instagram and check us out, right? So very important, very important. Now let's go back to my slide. Let's go back to my document. So I've shared with you digital consulting. Tonight's class is for people in the UK. Tonight's class is for people in the UK. Now, the question which I'm going to answer with a slide: why tech? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? Why tech? Why break into tech? Why cybersecurity? So first of all, let's answer the question, why tech? Why tech? And at this point, I just want to talk to you from my heart, right? I want to talk to you from my heart. I don't want to be very official or, strategic about it. I just want to be real with you. So the thing about tech is that the opportunities in tech are immense and the laborers are few. That's the reality of tech. The opportunities are immense, but the laborers are so few, so few. So there is always a shortage in tech. Another beauty of tech is that in tech, you have opportunities for remote jobs. Remote jobs. So for instance, we have many of our students in Nigeria who are based in Nigeria, but they work for organizations outside of Nigeria. That is only possible through tech. That is only possible through tech, right? So there are opportunities. Now, another thing about tech is that age is not a barrier. Age is not a barrier. And I often share with people the story of Buki Wright, who is an actress. She quit acting for some time, then she got back into acting, and now, but when she quit acting at the age of 44, Buki Wright went into tech. Today, she's in her 50s and she's a senior IT auditor in the US, right? So that is tech for you. That is tech for you. Like tech, you can enter into tech at any age. All you just have to do is to give it the necessary dedication that is required. The necessary dedication that is required. So age is not a barrier in tech. Age is not a barrier, right? So for some of you, then in tech, you don't need an IT background. You don't need an IT background. There is nothing like, oh, I didn't study tech. I came from an accounting background, but today I run an institute that has helped a lot of students to transition to tech. These are the opportunities in tech. Then another fear people have is, oh, I don't know programming. I don't understand programming. What can I do? In tech, most tech skills don't require programming knowledge. You heard that right. Most tech skills don't need programming knowledge. You don't need knowledge of programming for most tech skills, for most tech jobs. And if you're having this idea that, oh, cybersecurity, oh, we have to learn Python, we have to do this, you don't need that. And you can quote me anywhere. You see, you will only need programming if you want to advance in certain areas of cybersecurity, maybe when it comes to hacking, But to break into cybersecurity, to become a professional, you don't need coding, programming. There are many fields in cybersecurity, and I will show you some tonight, that you don't need to write a single line of code. So these are the fears people have. So tech has a lot of opportunities, but people have a lot of fears. They are afraid, they think it is hard. It is hard if you are not well guided. But if you are well guided, if you have mentorship, you have coaching, you have tutoring, and you're not just rolling around on YouTube, you will transition to tech. I can tell you that for a fact. So let me just share a slide with you that captures my thoughts on this. Let me just share. This slide captures my thoughts on this, and I think it will help, right? I think it will really help. So let me open this slide, and this slide will do justice to that. Okay. So if you are still with me, can I see your hand? If you are with me, can I see your hand? Okay. So let's share this slide about cybersecurity, just to run you through cybersecurity. So if you are with me, can I see your hand? Okay, just run through this. I just does justice to it. Okay, I can see many people are with me. You all are following me. Very soon, I'll be bringing Shegun Ebenezer in to share his journey into cybersecurity, right? So, why tech? IT opportunities are abundant, but the laborers are few. I've said that already. Tech has potential for remote jobs, flexible job schedules, freelancing, a shortcut into making 6-digit income. In tech, no IT background is needed. Many tech jobs don't need a university degree. No age constraints. I already shared with you, Bookie Wright. So remote jobs, fact or fiction. LinkedIn is your friend. Remote job website. So before I go on to why cybersecurity and what exactly is cybersecurity, let's just try to check out LinkedIn and check out for some remote jobs in the UK. So I'll go to cybersecurity. I'll go to jobs. I'll share my screen. Cybersecurity jobs. Cybersecurity jobs. Okay, so let's go. If you're ready, let me show you cybersecurity jobs in the UK. So here are the jobs. Now, some of these jobs, you will see something about 3 to 5 years experience. Don't bother yourself about that. In digital, we have a way around it. After your program, there is internship. So the internship as in suffices for work experience, because the internship is just like you're actually working in a real firm, right? In a real firm. So by the time you are done with the digital training program, your skill set, your experience, and some of our students will come tonight and they will share that with you, shows that you already have more than 3 to 4 years experience in cybersecurity. That is how this thing works, right? So there are jobs, right? There are jobs. And I could say, okay, the past week, give me cybersecurity jobs in the UK in the past 1 week. So these are the jobs. 2 hours ago, this has 18 applicants already. We could go on and on. Now, there are jobs, as you can see. But that is just me using cybersecurity, right? There are other words I could use. I could use GRC. By the time I use GRC is a field in cybersecurity, there are still many jobs. I could use information security, because cybersecurity is a very broad field. I could use information security. If I use information security, you see some other results. I could go on and do threat hunter or threat intelligence. If I do that, 192 results. That's a lot. We still do data protection. Data protection. So for some of you who are watching me, some of you say, oh, on LinkedIn, we've applied for jobs on LinkedIn. Let me so data protection. And one thing about our program, which I will still go into, is that our program is both the technical and the non-technical. Data protection is under the non-technical. So we teach you the non-technical as a bonus. I'll still talk about that. Now, look at data protection. That shows you something. That is why we do GRC in digital. There is a GRC class, because for data protection, there is 1,896 results the last 1 week. That's an opportunity for you there, right? So let's move on. There are many things. I could do malware analyst. Malware analyst might not be as much as data protection. Could do pen tester, which is also known as that's like 71 results, also known as vulnerability analyst. I could do DevSecOps. Now, one thing about DevSecOps is that you don't have so many job roles, right? But the job roles are very hard to fill because not many people are skilled in that area. Now, I could do cloud security. Cloud security. 143. These are all cybersecurity fields, as you can see. So, because of our time, I've shown you all these things. The next thing is why cybersecurity? Why cybersecurity? So yeah, tech is great, tech is good. You can work from anywhere, you can do all these. Oh, tech is the present, the past, and the future. Oh, that's good. But why cybersecurity? Why not business analysis? Why not data analysis? And no offense, those programs are good programs, but cybersecurity is special, and I will tell you why. So I'm just going to share a small slide with you, and I'll do this quickly because we have a long way to go tonight. So this just shows you why cybersecurity. No long talk, right? No long talk, right? So here's it. Recently, the FBI caught up with a Nigerian scammer. They call that the tech queen, who has been robbing many US institutions just using the internet, right? And I think she applied for a visa to the US, and they got her arrested. But she didn't hold a gun. She stole using the computer. Every day, banks, organizations, governments, they are coming under cyber attacks because it's safer and easier for criminals to steal with the internet than with the gun, right? So, and cybersecurity will keep rising. It will keep rising. As a matter of fact, every organization needs a cybersecurity professional. Every organization. And there's an element of cybersecurity that is statutory, and that's the GRC side, where you talk about the standards, frameworks, guidelines, and compliance issues. So there's that statutory nature. Like, these are things organizations must comply by. And because of that, they need a cybersecurity professional. And that's why you have a lot of jobs for data protection there, because it's a compliance issue. So whether the organization feels they need to do it or not, they just have to do it. And this gives more jobs to cybersecurity professionals. But before I leave this place, let's just look at this. Cost of cyber crime globally, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, it keeps rising. As of 2018, it was $860 billion. By 2024, it had grown to $14 trillion. And it will just keep rising. It will keep rising. It's not going to stop anytime soon. So organizations are not waiting to be hacked. They are being proactive. There are institutions that have a team of 20 cybersecurity professionals, all securing different areas. So this is why cybersecurity is such a big deal. This is why it's a big deal, because of compliance issues, and because of reputational damages, and because of financial issues. If they steal from your organization, it will not be funny. So there is great opportunity in cybersecurity in the past, in the present, and in the future. So that is the why of cybersecurity. Now back to my presentation, my small guideline that is guiding me. The next thing there is, what exactly is cybersecurity? And I will explain that before Ebenezer comes on board. What exactly is cybersecurity? So we've examined why tech, why break into tech, why cybersecurity. And I've given you reasons. There are jobs, there are opportunities. Age is not a limit. You don't need programming. All you need is guidance. So the next thing is, what exactly is cybersecurity? Now, I'll just try to explain this with a picture, because picture will make it clearer. What exactly is cybersecurity? One thing I like about cybersecurity is that it's a broad field, but it's a closely connected field. It's a broad field, and it's also a closely connected field. And before I show you all these things, so that you don't get confused, because every time when people reach out to my team, I see the kind of questions they ask. And I understand that there's a lot of confusion out there. YouTube has confused a lot of people. Are just hearing, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. So let me explain to you as I open this picture. So first of all, in digital, here's what we do. There is a 4.5 months training. It's an initial training. And during that initial training, you are grounded in the foundations of cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is broadly divided into three areas, three major areas. So there is cybersecurity analyst, there is cybersecurity engineer, and there is the GRC side. So for those of you who think that everything about cybersecurity is penetration testing, you are wrong. As a matter of fact, most cybersecurity job roles, as I've shown you, don't have to do with penetration testing. They don't have to do with ethical hacking or vulnerability assessment. All those things are just tautology. They all mean the same thing. But in our program, the first 4.5 months is for you to have the foundations of cybersecurity. By the time you have that foundation, then we move you to internship. The internship program, it's like you're already working at the workplace as a cybersecurity professional. So the 4.5 months has given you sufficient time to decide the pathway you will go. Now, so when I list out all these things, it doesn't mean that, oh, if you are an application security specialist, that is the only thing you can do. Cybersecurity is divided into three. There's the analyst, there is the engineer, and there's the GRC. So many of these roles are under analyst, engineering, GRC. So if you are an analyst, you can fit into many of these job roles. So that is the way so you don't get confused. So I want to be a cloud security engineer. I want to be a this. It's under a subdivision, right? And the initial 4.5 months is to ground you in those areas. So when you move to internship, you now specialize in internship. So that being said, let me run you through application security, right? Engineer or whatever. So programmers write programs, but many programmers, they only know how to write programs. They don't know how to secure the program, because security is at various levels. There's the level of the network, there's the level of the human, there's the level of the facility, there's also the level of the code itself. Some codes are vulnerable to cyber attacks at the level of the code. The software itself is vulnerable. So this is not even about the hardware, about an human agent, or about piggybacking, or no. It's even about the software itself is not secured. So then there's a cybersecurity architect. So they design the architecture of a firm. There's auditor, cybersecurity auditor. What does the cybersecurity auditor do? They audit the cybersecurity processes, equipment, staff, policies of an organization. Then there's a cloud. We've heard about cloud. Now, one thing about our program is you learn about the cloud during the course of the program, because if you're in the UK, you need knowledge of the cloud to work, because many organizations are cloud-based. So you are grounded properly in cloud. But cloud is also very important. So there are people who specialize in cloud security, because everybody is going to the cloud now. So who is securing the cloud? Very important. Now we have compliance. So we have the cybersecurity compliance manager. So that's under GRC. By now you should know that. There's education. like what I'm doing. Now, another thing you need to know about education is, for education, there is cybersecurity awareness training. And statutorily, organizations need to train their staff twice a year on cybersecurity awareness to, to discover emerging threats. Ebenezer will be coming up shortly. I just need to quickly run through this. The engineering, cybersecurity engineer. There is the generalist. There's governance. I've said a lot about it. Chief Information Security Officer, Chief Privacy Officer, security lawyer. So that's of GRC. There's investigation. So when you hear about forensics, that's it. It's cybersecurity forensic. So you can call them crime analyst, crime investigator, security researcher, malware analyst. So these are people that when the threat has materialized, they have to go in there to contain the threat, to stop it from further escalating, to investigate the threat, to find out why it happened, right? So forensics, right? And they help a lot with criminal investigation. Networking engineer, securing the network. Network is another layer. Then we have offensive. You can see that this offensive is one area. It's a wonderful area too. People get jobs there, but cybersecurity is not limited to offensive alone. So here we have junior pen tester, penetration tester, vulnerability tester. You have operations. There are a lot of jobs in operation. I forgot to search for it. Here you have SOC analyst, senior SOC analyst, operations. So see them as the maintenance guys. So the engineers have set up the system, they've installed the solutions, then the SOC guys are just maintaining. So when they notice any unusual activity, they don't wait for the problem to materialize, they quickly escalate. Privacy, data protection. I showed you 1,896 jobs came out this week alone in the UK for data protection. Data protection is covered under our GRC curriculum, right? It's the bonus class. We have sales. People have gotten jobs with organizations as sales professionals. Why? Because it takes somebody who understands cybersecurity to be able to sell a cybersecurity solution. So there are cybersecurity consulting firms who sell solutions that secure companies, but the solution is a technical solution. So they can't employ just anybody. They can't just employ just any salesman. So you can't move from, oh, you're selling for maybe Guinness. You're a salesman with Guinness, a regional sales manager with Guinness. Then you move over to a tech company that is selling cybersecurity solutions, and so I'm a salesman. No, it doesn't work that way. You're a technical salesman. It needs a technical person. They call them pre-sales engineer. A pre-sales engineer has an understanding of the technology so that he can sell the technology. He's not just a salesman, he's a technical salesman. Then we have threat, right? Cyber threat intelligence specialist. That's the threat hunter. So these are guys who sniff around. They check the dark web, check everywhere to investigate any threat. So I always explain this way. If Bank A was attacked last week, the work of a threat hunter in Bank B is to find out what happened in Bank A. What was used? How did the attack happen? And to safeguard Bank B from possible attacks. So a threat hunter is like the CIA of cybersecurity. They don't wait for the threat to materialize. They preempt the threats and they send advisory reports to the organization from time to time. So these things are important because you see, one cyber attack can ruin an organization. And aside from that, when an organization is not complying with standards, with guidelines, right, with regulations, they can also be fined and fined heavily. There are many regulations around this. There's the ISO, there's the SOX regulation, there's the IPA regulation, there is the PCI DSS regulation governing financial institution. IPA governs health organizations, and there are many of those regulations, right? So you have to be careful. SOX governs financial institutions. PCI DSS is for organizations that are into card processing and the rest. So even if a cyber attack does not occur, if they violate the regulations, they will still be heavily fined. So it's on both sides, right? So that's just an overview of that. So I'll be bringing on Ebenezer to join me. I took 5 minutes of his time, right? And Ebenezer is a very experienced cybersecurity professional, and he'll be sharing with us his experience and his journey into the field of cybersecurity. So for those who don't know him, he's our career coach at Digital Consulting, and he has worked for a lot of organizations. I think a lot of organizations in the US and maybe in the UK too, but I know that he has worked for many organizations in the United States. And to say this, he started his journey in COVID. In COVID, right? So for those of you who think that, oh, cybersecurity is for people that have, they've been there for 5 years, 10 years, his journey started during COVID, right? So, and today he's a very senior person in the industry. So, Shegun, you are welcome to tonight's session.
Thank you so
Thanks
much. I
for
hope
coming
you can
around.
see me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you can see me, right?
Yeah, you're looking fresh. Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you clearly too. Yeah, I can hear you clearly
Said
too.
I'm looking fresh. Okay. I'll
Yes,
take
you
that
are
as a
now. You're
compliment.
looking fresh. Yeah. So how are you
Thank you.
doing?
I'm doing very great. I'm
Yeah.
doing
So
very fine.
yeah, yeah. So over to you. I just want you to share your journey into cybersecurity with our students. So these are students in the UK who are to come in for the class. So they are incoming students, and you will definitely be their career coach as you have always been. So
Yes.
they just want to hear from you about your journey into cybersecurity, how it started, and how it's going. So let's start from the journey and where
Okay.
you started from. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. The journey started fully in 2020, as you have mentioned, during the
Mm,
lockdown. I started developing interest. I studied computer science. Um,
mm,
associate degree, which is like national diploma in Nigeria. Then I
mm.
moved on to study cybersecurity science, bachelor's of technology. I started
Sorry, can
developing.
you come again? You said it is like national diploma in Nigeria.
Yes. That's it's computer science associate degree.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So that's like OND, right?
yes, OND. Then I moved on
Oh,
to
okay. Oh,
studying cybersecurity at the undergraduate level.
oh,
Um,
oh.
so, I began to develop interest in ethical hacking, as I believe that is one of the aspects of cybersecurity that, is being so much talked about. So to people don't know that there are other aspects. So I saw ethical hacking and I was curious, what's going on? What's ethical hacking? So I discovered that it's like a part of the holistic cybersecurity as an industry. So I
Mm,
began to make my research. So during the lockdown, around that March, I began
mm,
to make my research, and a lot of certifications and online webinars, online courses became free. So I leveraged that
mm,
opportunity to begin to study, began to write all of those online courses. So at the end of 2020, I wrote about 6 internationally recognized certifications, about 4 of them
mm,
from Microsoft. Azure security engineer was part of it. Azure administrator was part of it, and different multi-cloud certifications,
mm,
Cisco certifications like Cisco Cyber Ops. I wrote those
mm,
certifications during those period, and I was studying
mm,
voraciously. I was leveraging free content
mm,
online. As at that time, cybersecurity was
mm,
not this. Now we have different communities that are helping different. A lot of people. We have
mm,
different
mm, mm,
association with different resources, free resources everywhere. As of
mm,
2020, it was not like that, right? I could remember going on LinkedIn looking for leaders in cybersecurity that I can actually reach out to. Out of almost 200 people I reached out to, about 3 were the ones that responded to actually
mm,
lend their hand to say, oh, this is how we did it during that time. This is how we did it. So
mm,
they really helped. Those 3
mm,
leaders really helped, and that was how the journey started. By the end of 2020, I began to get projects, right? I began to get projects from, people reaching out to me on LinkedIn and like, oh, we love what you're doing. Can you jump on this project? Beginning of 2021, I began to receive invitations to speak at webinars, and that was like in less than 1 year, right, during the lockdown. So 2021, I got my first cybersecurity job, and how I got the job was I joined about 3 communities then that I knew were available as at then. 2 were outside of Nigeria, Blacks in Cybersecurity outside Nigeria. So they have the Discord channel where they post they post different job vacancies. I saw one and I applied. Lo and behold, they called me for interview, and I've been studied for the past how many months on different certifications. So I went for the interview, and that would be my first cybersecurity job, a remote job with a US startup company, cybersecurity startup. So that was the first job I got, and from there, I began to leverage more on LinkedIn, sharing my thoughts, sharing some of the projects I'm working on, and I began to get so much response from the industry. A lot of people started noticing me. I started gaining visibility on LinkedIn, and in 2021, beginning of around that March, I made a post that went viral on cybersecurity, and about 3 CEOs of companies, 2 outside the country, 1 in Nigeria, reached out, and they said they want to speak with me. They would like to just chat. So one of the CEOs, as I then said, oh, because I was still studying, he wouldn't be able to employ me. But 2, another one from UK said, oh, don't worry, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you a project to go and work on, something short. I just want to use it to know
Now, at that time you were in Nigeria.
I was in Nigeria. How far you have gone. So, I did the work, I did my research, came up with a presentation of about 5 slides. And when I sent it to him, he called me he didn't call via Zoom or via WhatsApp. He called me on direct line and said, when can you resume the work? So that was how I got my second, my first UK job, right? So I was with the US company for 1 year, and after 1 year, I moved to that UK job. I stopped work, continued with the UK, and from there, that's how it has been. Kept writing different certifications, kept making connections to people who have been in the industry, and I kept volunteering in communities, and some of the volunteering works are so impactful that most of the stakeholders in those communities actually give recommendations for me, even on LinkedIn. And sometimes when they have a project they want to work on, a cybersecurity project, most of the time I'm the first person to come to mind, because they've worked with me even when I was volunteering, when I was giving my skills for free, helping other people. And another thing that was so interesting is, even while I was still trying to get my feet in, I was also helping others while I was still getting my feet in. I was going for webinars, talking about my little experience, the little things I've learned, helping people, mentoring people, even though I was a mentee too. So that really helped me to grow very fast, and now senior roles and the rest of that. So yeah, that's my journey.
That's the journey. Okay, so between that 2021 when you got your first job and now, so how many companies in total have you worked for as a cybersecurity professional?
Okay, I've worked for 5 companies.
Wow.
Only one of those companies in Nigeria. The rest are
outside of Nigeria. Okay. So my next question is that at times when we share these things, we still come to the career coaching side. But when we share these things, some people have this idea that they have this admiration. They don't have the appropriation. So they just look at you and say, oh, this guy is a very smart guy, right? And that is why when you said associate degree like OND, I needed to show that, right? I intentionally re-echo that so that they don't feel, oh, this guy, he finished from Harvard, or, went to Cambridge after he finished from Harvard, then, that's why. So that people, at times, when people hear things like this, they sort of just take themselves out of the picture. Like, oh, yeah, I'm out. No, it's just it's
Yeah.
them. They are just the ones. So I just want to ask you that. Do you think other people could have followed that same path and gotten to where you got to? Like you were in Nigeria then, and you were just learning, road certifications, did all these things, got your first job, or do you just think though there was just something special about you? And if you think others could have done it, can you just mention other people that heard your story, listened to your story, and they found
Okay.
their footing?
So
Yeah, over to
yeah,
you.
I don't believe that I have any superpowers, or I mean,
Okay, so you're not part of the Avengers.
no, I'm not part of the Avengers. Anybody. In
Okay.
fact, let me cite
Yeah.
this example. Around 2022, those period I was still, yeah, I was still working with, remotely. I was still in Nigeria. And I started, I said I started teaching people, then it got to a point I said, I would have like a platform where I like mentor people, but I will also have a platform where anybody that wants to pay for that service, they actually have the leverage or
Mm,
the ground to pay. So a
mm,
couple of people actually signed up, and I
mm,
want to talk about this particular person. The
mm.
person is residing in Dublin, and
Okay.
he's 40 issue as at then he was 45 years old as at 2020,
Mm,
and he is like a manager or like a senior person in all this care role in
mm, mm,
UK area. And he said he wants to transition from that
mm,
medical line to cybersecurity. That he wants me to walk in through that journey. And I
mm,
said, no problems. And we started, early 2022. And I started taking it from scratch, like from what is computer, what are data, how do we transfer data from one computer to another, what does input, output, processing, that was where we started from. This was somebody that doesn't have any idea about technology, right? Today, this particular person I'm talking about has done his associate degree in Dublin, has
mm,
finished his BSc in
mm,
cybersecurity in Dublin,
mm.
and now has his own consulting firm, penetration
Oh,
testing. That's what they do
wow.
in that company
From what is computer?
from what is computer in 2022, right? And
Mm,
one thing I like about this person is any gathering that he goes, he
mm,
always share that experience, because some
mm,
people think it's by age. When you are younger, that is when you can get all of this technology. No, 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 no. You can start at any age, even if you
mm,
are 45, if you are 55. So far you have set your mind to do it, you will be able
mm,
to do it with the right guidance and the right
mm,
structure in place. So I believe that anybody can do, can break into cybersecurity with or without,
mm,
technology experience or without technical experience. It is for anybody. It is for everybody. So it
mm,
depends on your approach. It depends on the strategies that
mm,
you have put in place to actually approach coming in. And that is what Agita
mm,
is offering. Right. Thank
mm,
you.
mm. Okay. So now leads me to the second to the last question. So I also feel some people have this idea that because in conversations with some of our UK students, this black thing, some bits of racism. If you're a black person, you are disadvantaged. You have to do a lot more. Are those things really true from your experience with people you have mentored? From the jobs you have gotten outside of Nigeria back then when you were here. So can you just share some like
Okay.
because some people they're already defeated before they even start
Based on
the
that,
fight.
yes. Yeah. Okay, so
Mm,
I would say that um yeah, I don't believe that,
mm,
in the job market, they discriminate
mm,
against whether you are black or white. On most of the
mm,
job descriptions that you will see, they will say they have, inclusion, right?
mm,
Equity, inclusion, and diversity, meaning that they don't discriminate against races.
mm,
And from my experience, I've had interviews where they don't look at my color, right? I've had several
mm,
interviews where I interview with white. In fact, most of my interview has been with white guys a lot of the time, white guys.
mm,
So they don't. When you have the skill they are looking for, they will keep
mm,
you, or they would want to move forward with you. I
mm,
think the only thing that has really caused disadvantage a bit is just the economy of Nigeria, where, you know, people don't. I faced that too, but I didn't just allow that to, you know, put my back on the ground. Where people don't have access to, you know, 24/7 light, they don't have access to good internet, and that actually, you know, there's no interviewer that wants to come and interview you, and then your internet is really bad. They couldn't have good conversation with you. They won't want to move forward, because even if in interviews like that you're having issues with internet, then that means even if you start the work, you won't be able to do anything, right?
True.
So I believe those are the, you know, some of the challenges people face in Nigeria, and that's economical. I don't think is based on discrimination about race. Or I have friends who actually worked from Nigeria, right? From Nigeria, they do. In fact, I have a lot of them that we went to school together. Right from school, they were working from Nigeria remotely with companies outside the country. And I have friends who have graduated. They are still working with the company they actually got, you know, job with when they were in school outside the country. So I don't think, you know, that works. Well, maybe if you now get in, and, you know, there will always be people who would want to, but during the interview, I believe to a large extent, they make sure that they don't discriminate against your color or your, if you are good, you are skilled, they are going to employ you.
Okay. So now that leads us to the last question. You have been with us now for, I think this is the second year as a career coach, and I will still explain to the students. So we have career coaching once in 2 weeks. A career coach coaches the students separate from the technical and the non-technical classes. So for the students who are coming in to Agital, what should they be expecting at the career coaching classes? What really happens at these classes, right?
Okay.
It's different from the technical classes, but I just want to give an overview of what you have been doing all this while at the career coaching classes. Yeah.
So the career coaching classes, what we do is we take you through a journey of leveraging the advantage of your technical classes or your technical expertise to applying it, you know, in the industry, and helping you to get your foot in and to also remain relevant in the industry. I've had guys who they are very technical, but they don't know how to actually sell themselves. They don't know how to market themselves. So in the career coaching class, we teach you how to market yourself, how to package your technical, you know, expertise, your skills, how to package them, to sell them to, you know, recruiters and hiring manager, to convince them that you are the best fit for the job. And this entails, you know, CV revamp. We take you through several classes on revamping your CV according to different countries, because we have mixed, you know, people from different countries. According to different countries, the standard in UK, in US, and the rest of that. We also take you through LinkedIn optimization, how you can leverage LinkedIn for visibility, where, you know, you optimize your LinkedIn to the point where it is recruiters that will be reaching out to you, right? When they check your profile. We also, you know, help you to learn tools that will help you to job hunt easily, automate your job hunting, tools that will help you to prepare for interview, how you should prepare for interviews. You know, because I have experiences across different, you know, platforms, and to an extent, some countries, right? I leverage that experience to you know, educate you on what hiring managers are possibly looking for in UK, what they are possibly looking for in US, what they are possibly looking for in Nigeria, like that. So that gives you like an like a knowledge, a pre-knowledge of what you should be expecting, what kind of frameworks, what kind of regulations are applicable in UK, in US, which one are they more concerned about, you know, as a GRC person, what kind of certifications are they more concerned about in UK, US, apart from the general ones, as a penetration tester, as a SOC analyst, and the rest of that. And then we also walk you through, you know, the ability to be independent. We teach you Upwork, we teach you freelance and platforms where while you're searching for your dream job, you have, you know, you can actually get projects you can work on, you know, before that time. And then we also take you through, you know, help you to position yourself for, tech visas and the rest of that. So that is what the career session is about. It is leveraging, is not, it's separate from your technical class, but we are also leveraging what they are teaching you. We are teaching you how you can use the what you have been equipped in your technical classes, how you can use it to actually get your dream job. So that is what the career class, coaching class is all about.
Like they said, they will say getting a job is a job on its own,
Yes.
right? And I always say jokingly that it is not the most beautiful girl in Nigeria that is the most beautiful girl in Nigeria. The most beautiful girl in Nigeria is the most visible beautiful girl. So it's not enough to be good, you must be seen to be good, right? So I just want you to shed more light on two things, because when you were talking, you made mention of tools for automating job search and application. And why I want you to shed more light on it is that, you see, for those who are listening to us, we are not here to tell you about fables. We're just here to tell you the reality. So, you see, moving into tech and building a career path in tech is a journey. The first part of the journey is being good, being sound, as in master, get your certifications, get the training. HTAL will do that. The second part, which we still do, is the career coaching. And at times, you have to apply to a lot of jobs. I always tell people it falls down to the law of averages. The more jobs you apply to, the more interviews you get. The more interviews you get, the higher the chances that you get a job quickly. It's not rocket science, right? So I just want to shed more light on the automating job application stuff and also talk about the Upwork thing. Yeah, because that's very crucial.
Yeah. So, as you have said, getting a job is a job on its own. So, it is very important that, you devise strategies that would not, wear you off, that would help you to actually sustain your strength when you are applying for jobs. And it can be very daunting. So there are different tools in the class that we'll be talking about, different AI tools, right, that would help you to automate. Now, when we say automate, it means that it takes some manual work out of the way for you, right? Like, connecting to recruiters automatically, automating job search on LinkedIn, where, when there is a change in a particular role on LinkedIn where you have searched before, there is an email that is sent to you that, oh, there's a change, there is now an added, new role that has been added to the job search, right? So that is, that's part of the things that we teach every quarter when they come for the career session. We teach them these tools that helps them to automate some of these, strategies. Also to search for hiring managers within we teach them some strategies on LinkedIn. Also, I personally call it the 10x strategy, where you can use some hashtag and some search parameters to actually search for recruiters and then connect with them within different regions. So these are some of the things and more that they will be learning, within the career session class, for in Hagita, right? So, and then also
Upwork.
interview. Upwork. We teach you Upwork. And one thing about Upwork is, if you want to be successful, you have to know how to write good proposals that align with the objective of the project that is being advertised, right? That is what gets what gets you in front of the person advertising the job. And another strategy is when you want to apply for some of the projects, you have to apply within the early hours of when the project has been, posted. And, you have to learn about the person that is, that posted the project, or the organization that posted the project. Some of these things is talked about extensively, and we show you how to actually write the proposals. We don't just say, oh, proposal is this, and this. We show you how to write proposals. We show you samples of proposals that have actually gotten projects, from projects have been advertised in the past. So yeah, that is that about the Upwork.
Yeah. Then you want to talk about the interview prep, so you can just end on that.
Oh, okay. So I would end with interview preps. We use AI tools. I mean, for interview preps, there are like we also leverage Gen AI tools like ChatGPT. We also teach you a bit of prompt engineering. That is having the right prompt to actually get the right answer and the correct, unbiased response from those tools that will help you to actually elaborate on the answers to some of the possible questions that hiring manager, depending based on the advertised job roles, right? We teach you that. We also teach you some tools that are actually made for AI, AI tools that are made for interview preps. We teach you some of those tools and how to use them. Yeah, so that is about the interview preps. And also I leverage my experience to give elaborate teaching on different like the UK government job now, the different ways you can actually get your CV sieved and picked, because the UK job, it's a big deal on its own. The UK government job site is a big deal on its own. They don't use the normal CV that you will upload on a normal. You have to type in your full CV and all of that. So we teach you the strategies to go about all of those, and you get holistic understanding of preparing for interview, applying for jobs, and the rest of that.
So thank you very much, Shegun Ebenezer, for your time tonight. I know you are quite busy, but coming up tonight to talk to us, we really appreciate. And for those who are coming in, Shegun is based in the UK, so he understands the terrain, he understands the environment, right? So he knows what is required, and you will have a very wonderful time with him at the career coaching classes. So thank you very much. We'll talk. Yeah, bye.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So I'll be bringing in Kamal. Kamal is an digital student based in the UK. Let me see if Kamal is on. I need to see if Kamal is on. Right. And Kamal. I can't find Kamal here. Need to be sure. Kamal is a student of digital. He's based in UK, and he wants to share his experience with us tonight. Okay, so I think we'll bring in Mr. Nelson. Okay, so we'll bring in Nelson. Sorry, I thought it was Kamal next, but I think Nelson will be the next person here tonight. So Nelson is our internship coach, right? So in digital, we are very structured. And before he starts to talk, I will just give us an overview of how our program goes in like 3 minutes. So Nelson, you are welcome. Just give me 3 minutes. We can just see your face while I just explain to people, because they are hearing many things: career coach, internship, tutor. They are like, what's going on? So let me explain to you how our classes goes. So we have the technical classes. The technical classes are malware, pen testing, threat hunter, cloud security, all those kind of stuff. So that is Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. UK time. Then we have the bonus GRC class. That's a non-technical class. It's a bonus class, right? And it's Fridays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays, right? Now, career coaching classes is handled by Shegun, and he has explained to you, so I don't need to so much. LinkedIn prep, interview, visas, tech visas, AI tools, Upwork, everything you can talk about. So this is um, Saturdays, that's 7 p.m., 9 p.m. That's once in 2 weeks. This is once in 2 weeks, right? Then when you are done with the 4.5 months, because this one is 4.5 months, 4.5 months. Now, one thing about career coaching classes is it goes on indefinitely because the idea is you have to get a job. So you just still there, you keep going, keep pumping you to get a job. But after your technical classes and non-technical classes, we now have what we call internship, right? This idea of internship is for you to have real work experience, real work experience. At times, students get jobs before the internship and they still come for internship, right? So part of this career coaching is also certifications. I forgot to talk about that, right? So internship is like at your internship, right? You are working. It's like you are working already because whatever you are doing there is what you would do when you are at the workplace. So it's mirrored in that way. So, and this is handled by Nelson. Yeah, he's a very experienced cybersecurity professional with a lot of international experience. So we need to explain that. So internship follows after, right? So Nelson, you are welcome to tonight's session. I think I'm done with my story,
Yeah,
right? You're welcome.
okay.
So how are you doing today?
Very well, very well. Can you hear me?
Okay.
And you?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. So I think I need to stop share.
Okay.
So I would just want you to let's just get into it, and let's just show people the roadmap for the internship. What really happens in our internship program? So I will make you the host so that you can just share with them. But before that, you could also introduce yourself to us, tell us about your journey, and but we now focus a lot on what happens in the internship. So you're welcome. I can say
All
Nelson
right.
has maybe over 12 or 13 years experience in cybersecurity. So he's he's an OD. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Uh, okay, so good day, everybody. And
Mm,
I studied computer science in school, but I was drawn
mm,
to networking, having the opportunity to have like a 2 weeks internship, and I was really drawn
mm,
to networking because back in the day, when you're doing computer science, it's like a must for you to write program. But in today's world, not everybody that does computer science, it's a mandatory requirement for you to write program. And that was the challenge we had. A lot of people would want to do UI UX. Some would want to do, go into data analysis. But then we didn't have I'm talking about the traditional education system. You have to be forced to write program, build a website. But there are people that are in tune into database. They want to be a data analyst. They want to be going into UI UX. But I noticed that it is after school, people start building specialty into this field. But for myself, I had the opportunity to, at my 400 level, to do a 2 weeks intern, boot camp program in networking, computer networking. Then I just knew that that was the path I wanted to go into, structured networking. And that was the time in Nigeria where POS was beginning to be a thing. So I learned how to structure POS devices, like ATM devices, ATM machine for big banks. That was what I did for my IT. But the question always remain, how do you secure this kind of enterprise network? I'd worked with Union Bank, I'd worked with First Bank, like I was working with a company at 400 level, learning how to do structured networking. CCNA, Cisco was the main thing. Everybody want to use Cisco router. But even then, learning about routing, networking, but security is always the concern. You know, that was how I started looking at there's a need to learn security. when you build a network, the next thing that comes to your mind is how do you secure it? How do you secure data? So cybersecurity was something that I had to now start looking for organizations that provide security. That was in 2017. 2016, 2017, was looking for opportunity to go into cybersecurity. But again, it was not something that was very prominent. So for me, what I started doing was that look for an IT support job. I have seen a lot of time people want to go into cybersecurity directly. And sometimes it's not like that, especially when you are coming from a non-technical role. Your first job might be IT support, especially in the US, right? I've seen a lot of people, they would want to see if you have foundational knowledge on OS, operating system, or networking. Because in fact that you're interested, that's why you see our program has this. That's the reason for the internship. So the 4 month, 4.5 month program that we do first is not just to go directly into cybersecurity, but to help you understand the core pillars of cybersecurity, which is operating system and networking. Trust me, like if you don't know networking and you have all the certifications in cybersecurity, you don't know operating systems, you're going to fail badly in technicals. I'm telling you the truth. And this is what a lot of the students they saw for themselves during our internship program. So they were coming with their certification, they were coming with this knowledge, and now we were troubleshooting operating system, and they saw that wow, there's a need for us to learn troubleshooting. So during the first cohort in our internship, students will tell you that their troubleshooting skill is up notch. They can install any solution. I can tell you for free that a lot of our students were able to deploy solution. Just last week, we ended our presentation. The presentation, we were doing a project capstone presentation from. One of the students did a presentation on DevSecOps. This was
Wow.
something that we did not discuss fully, and he
Wow.
automated it. How to, automate CI/CD pipeline, and he did. I was learning from that project. I was
Yeah,
proud of that
it's
student.
a high demand cybersec
Yes,
area,
I was proud of
DevSecOps.
that student because the integration, the setup, it was not something he did virtually. It was something that he set it up from start to finish. And when he tested it, I was seeing the result. So I knew that this guy can deploy any solution. Give it to him. So that was something we are looking forward to for our students to get any project and be able to deploy it. Just give them the manual. They can troubleshoot it as time goes on. So my journey into cybersecurity was as a result of my interest in networking and operating system, Linux. So my first job required extensive knowledge on Linux. I worked with Huawei technology then, and it was extensively on Linux. So you have it servered just on terminal. You need to understand the Linux commands. But again, learning Linux, learning networking was something that pushed my interest into cybersecurity. And I will tell you one of the things that I've noticed that for me, anybody can be a dashboard engineer. A dashboard, I call dashboard engineers those that you are given a manual, you know how to, go to a security dashboard setup and you know how to configure. But do you know how to set it up itself? Do you know how to troubleshoot it when it fails? You see, so that's what we are teaching in our program. And that's what we are bringing in. When a SIM solution fails, do you know how to troubleshoot it? Do you know how the inner workings of the solution? We are not just teaching you how to operate it, but how to build it up, how to set it up, right? And going to the next question, which is an important one. What do we do during our internship program? I just like to share my screen so it's easier for everyone
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
have
You are the
that.
host now. So that'll be
All
clear.
right. So let me know if you can see the whole idea. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, I can.
All
I
right. So
can.
the whole idea of the internship program, right? Our goal, before I show you the roadmap, let me show you the objective. So this is Hijita internship program. We are looking at strictly gaining industrial experience. How do we, because from our research, we've seen a lot of boot camps really don't teach what the industry wants you to know. So I will give you an example. You can be taught about SIEM. Now, when you're taught about SIEM solution, an example usually that a lot of company training institutes would use is Splunk. Now they go into Splunk and they use the cloud-based Splunk dashboard to show you, and maybe they upload the raw data. But the truth about it would be, can you set up Splunk? Do you know the components or the architecture of Splunk? Can you build it on your own? Can you integrate it to real-life systems within your environment and get the logs and generate report? Because that's what you would do when you have been asked there, when you get an interview, when you go for an interview. They want to ask you, how do you set up a Splunk solution or a Wazoo, a SIEM? When there are troubles or issues, can you investigate where it is? How do you maintain such solutions? Because these are part of regulatory requirements. They call it health check assessment. So we look at industrial experience, then we look at developing your technical skill. So this is helping you position yourself as not just technical, but also non-technical. So in the technical, a lot more demanding roles are the SOC, security analyst, security engineer, application security specialist, or vulnerability management engineer. These are areas that are more, right? Then in the non-technical, we have the GRC. Then areas improve your research and problem. See, this third part is our key area. This part, I can tell you that a lot of people that transition in cybersecurity don't know how to research and don't know how to don't have that problem solving skill when issues happen. So I would share this experience, especially in the banking sector. You are employed as a security engineer or analyst. When there are issues, you call the vendor. Now you don't know how that problem was resolved, because at every point in time, you are calling the vendor. I had an interview once with a fintech. That was my first fintech, was at eTransact. I met with the CEO and he asked me, what is so special about you? Why should we pick you? I said, because I can troubleshoot any solution and bring it up in 24 hours. He said, have you done it before? I said, I've done this before for your company as a consultant. He said, give this guy the job. What is so special about you? Number 3, improving your research and problem-solving skill. You don't learn that on Hack and Try Hack Me. You learn that by being the labs. Trust me. So that's what we bring to everyone on the table. Now let's quickly go through our roadmap. Now this is sorry. Yeah. So during our internship roadmap, the first 4 to 5 months, you're going through the training. That's the first, foundational training where you learn the concept. You're going through what's it called, some of the projects, and you're also going through the career learning. That's every 2 weeks from what Shegun just spoke about, just a few minutes. Then one of the things that we are looking at in our roadmap is hands-on and how to, prepare, document your project. Someone told me recently that he had an interview and they were asking him for evidence. He's told me that he was not able to, when we did the vulnerability management, he didn't do the documentation. Then I was like, why didn't you do the documentation? That would have been the perfect time to be able to show to the recruiters, this is a portfolio. Your documentation is more like your portfolio, just like in UI UX, where you have portfolio of the project you've done. If you tell me you have done this project, how do we know it is true if you don't have a video recording or a documentation on it? So in this part, we have a 6-month internship program, and during that period, we'll be doing hands-on documentation and blog posting. Right. I'm going to show you an example of a student blog just now, but let me quickly take you to the programs that what we'll be learning. Just a minute. So during the internship, we'll leverage a couple of tools. We leverage a couple of tools, but we look at critical domains. So before I speak to this, I want to show quickly what we leverage. We start with what we call the cybersecurity framework. So the first thing we did was to research what are the most common framework that organizations use across the world. In the UK, they leverage what we call the defense in-depth. The same thing also in the US. They leverage either the NIST framework, defense in-depth, right, as a framework for their security program. Now, leveraging the defense in-depth, zero trust, defense in-depth, NIST framework. Those are the three we were combining during our internship program. Because when you want to build a cybersecurity strategy, you want to propose to management, you have to leverage a framework. There should be some sort of framework globally that is accepted that you are going to propose. So, and we are using the same thing. So for defense in-depth, what this means is that for every layer of your business, there's a cybersecurity control that helps you. So from example, at the data layer, the most important and critical aspect of your business is data, how you store and manage your data. At that point, you are looking at DLP, data loss prevention. So at the point of your laptop, your assets, your servers, you are looking at what we call endpoint security here. So we look like solution, we deploy solutions, antivirus, we look like at application controls, patch management. We look at those at the endpoint security. At the application layer, so we look at SaaS, software, static application security testing. We look at dynamic application security testing. Then we also look at WAF, web application firewall, solutions like Cloudflare. Now, you can see that across the defense in-depth, we take one or two solutions and look at that area and solve a problem there. So your project at the end of 6 months should cover application security, endpoint security, network security. Then we start looking at policy and monitoring and response. This is where we look at SIEM, security operation, threat intelligence. You can see SIEM, incident response. And now using this framework as an example, we also look at hands-on tools, hands-on labs to also build more on our program. So we leverage this platform, Let's Defend, Blue Team Level, Cyber Defense, then also Track Me. So we can leverage any of those virtual environments platform to help also, because for example, we look at Let's Defend more because a lot of their labs are in tune to more real life scenario. So we look at every student should cover every of the 10 to 15 free labs that we have during the course of the internship. Right. Then we have a couple of direct short training on Let's Defend that is a mandatory requirement. So completing that also include your certifications, add to your certifications. So those are the things that we do. Then just a quick one to the tools. Yeah. So this is what we focused on. Sorry. So in terms of tooling, sorry, please.
Yeah, I think you're on the page.
Yeah.
Internship program outline, yeah.
Yeah. Please, can you just give me a minute? I want to ask for a minute, please. Yeah.
So while Nelson is trying to fix that, for those of you who have been asking, so our program starts, training starts next week, Tuesday. Like I said earlier, the classes hold Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that is 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. UK time. The initial program is 4.5 months. That's 4 months, 2 weeks. Then after that, you start with the internship program. For the 4.5 months, you have technical classes Tuesday and Thursdays. Then there's a bonus non-technical class, that's GRC, which is on Friday. So the GRC class is on Friday, and the GRC is where you learn governance, risk and compliance, data protection, information security. So that is the GRC. Career coaching takes place once in 2 weeks on Saturdays, and that is with Coach Shegun. At the career coaching classes, you learn CV revamp, LinkedIn optimization, interview prep, Upwork mastery, freelance mastery, tech visa, building portfolio of projects, certifications, exams, vouchers, joining cybersecurity community, right? Joining the cybersecurity community, how you can join communities. So I think Nelson is back. So over to you.
Yeah. Okay. Just I want to bring up something.
Okay.
Student work, just quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so while that is loading up, let me share because of time. All right. So so you can see in our program, we start with understanding enterprise security architecture, because you cannot place security in an architecture you don't understand. You need to be able to understand architecture. You know, how does an hybrid or a cloud-only architecture or an on-prem architecture of an organization look like? So we do that. You know, then the next, in leveraging the NIST framework, we have the NIST framework that we used. So you're looking at asset management, and you can see that across all these domains, we have solutions that a lot of them are open source, or they have community editions that you can even deploy for SMEs. Our goal is to be able to build consultants. We believe in building cybersecurity consultants, not just people looking for job, but people that can solve problem. They can also get those projects done. Now, and that's what I usually would assume every student to be, a consultant. And if a business has a security need, you should be able to provide a solution. So if there's a business, an SME, a big company has an asset management problem, would you be able to provide that kind of a solution? How do they manage their assets? So we look at things like certain solutions. So you can see that just for asset management, we have 3 solutions. And you can look at deploying those 3 solutions in your environment and come and do presentation. Now, there's one thing to work on this project. There's also another thing to be able to present it. I was having a conversation with a friend, and she told me the reason why she was not called for the interview. Sorry, she was not chosen as a candidate for the interview. They told her presentation. They didn't feel confident that she knows it. So you can know, and this is an experienced person for years. So you can know something, you don't know how to present it, you don't know how to properly document. You don't have, so you should be able to properly document. That's why we have in our program, when you do research, you come back to the class, we work as a team, just like you would work in a typical organization, because you'll be given this project, you come back to defend it, then I'm going to ask you questions. Those are the questions you would likely see during an interview, an interview session, because that is what I would ask any candidate. So I'll ask you about the architecture, how you deployed it, what are the problems, if there are troubles, what would you do? So that's just an example. You can see again, for under vulnerability management, we have other solutions that we worked. Then we look at endpoint detection and response. These are all the domains. We have network traffic analysis. So we can see Let's Defend. We are looking at Let's Defend projects. Then we have patch management. This is one of the biggest problems in cybersecurity today. A lot of companies don't know. So we are taking this real life problem as of today and bringing it to the classroom to see how we solve it with real life solutions that you would deploy. I have a couple of the solutions allows you to even deploy for free for 200 laptops. I could barely see any SME that have 200 servers. Most SMEs will have between 1 to 50, between 1 to 100. I'm talking about small, medium firm. So if you have this kind of a project, you can deploy it. You can see manage engine. So these are solutions that we work on, and we'll see how you document and present it. Not just
Let
you
me chip in
deploying.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, while we're waiting for the student project to load, so many people saying this, they will start thinking, oh, with all these things I'm saying, patch manager,
yeah.
Sentinel, hope there's no program in this. You know, we are not going to be writing C# and Java and Python. So I just wanted to answer that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was listening to when you mentioned, in the previously when you were talking about programming, and that's
Mm,
very correct, right? There's
mm,
no programming required here. Um, the world is getting to that point where automation is the key thing. And I was
mm,
saying it initially with someone that in recent time I was listening to the CEO for Cisco, Cisco, and he mentioned that we are getting to that point where innovation and AI orchestration, automation is the main thing. So programming is not required for a lot of these solutions. That's why their premium service are expensive because they've put all the programming together, for you. So in cybersecurity, speed and how you detect and fix an issue is very important. That's why we measure your performance by looking at things like mean time to detect, mean time to respond. How you are
mm,
measured in cybersecurity is how quickly you detect a threat and how quickly you resolve it. So
mm,
these solutions already inculcate a lot of the program in the automation. So it's now how you understand them and how you can configure their
mm,
policies in line with your environment. So I'll give you an example, Mr. Yomi. If you can see that certain solutions that are here. Now let's
yeah,
assume that we have a new threat that is 0 days, something totally new, right? And you
mm,
have an antivirus solution. We want to teach you how you can configure policy to detect something new that the world has not seen before based on the behavior. So you can understand the tool, but you don't know the policies. You don't know how to configure to catch new threats because they are new.
mm,
I was reading from a research how TikTok videos are used to install malware. Now,
mm,
that is the latest trend because they go on TikTok, they do an AI video, you download, they'll tell you, instruction on how to, follow, write some command on your system. And you writing those
mm,
commands, you are installing malware on your system. So
mm,
now we have to start thinking on how do we catch when this kind of event is happening in companies' laptop. These are new
mm,
trends, right? Or they could crawl your browser and steal all your password without even cracking any password. Back in the days, they have to steal your password. Then they'll use what we call John the Ripper to crack those passwords, but they don't do that no more. They just go to your
mm,
browser. Most of our browsers store password. They'll crawl it and steal the password without you knowing. So how do you create a policy that
mm,
catches those advanced threats? Those are the things that we look at. So you can see in the area of endpoint security, we have a tool that does endpoint security, mobile, not just, and now I remember, guys, I told you we are looking at defense in that. So aside from your laptop, we also help you we are teaching you how to protect your mobile device. So we have
mm,
tools that you can install and protect your device, your mobile device for threat. These are areas that organization has as a problem. So patch management, vulnerability assessment, application inventories. Then we go into GRC tools,
mm,
platforms that can help you automate GRC assessment, in an organization in line with either PCI, ISO, NIST, these are areas. Then we move on to SIEM. You can see
mm,
areas like SIEM, you can see areas like mobile application security. So today, different businesses have mobile apps. How do you help, assess these apps for vulnerabilities? Then we look at things like threat intelligence, then data loss prevention, right? These are areas that we looked at. And we are also looking at building more of our labs in the area of DevSecOps, in the area
mm,
of cloud security. So these are some of the roadmap. I don't know if there's
mm.
any more question. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you wanted to show us a student project. I don't know if it
Yes,
has
yes. Okay. Just
loaded, so we can just have that as the last thing, so people can have a feel of what really goes on, right? Then I think
Yeah.
there's also a spreadsheet that you shared with me. It was showing the but you can share this after the student project. So this
Yeah,
spreadsheet
so
shows how
this
okay
yeah, so this is just 2 days ago. One of our
okay
students, this was one of his projects he did for the
okay
capstone. Can see something
okay
is around for SMB. You know,
mm,
this has to do with looking at threat monitoring, IT
mm,
visibility for an organization, right? With
mm,
cost-effective solution. Then just a run through of his project.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
so this is something that he hasn't done before the intern. So
mm,
combining different tools that help with asset visibility, asset discovery, then I like the fact that he was able to bring his own innovative idea into,
mm,
to help us to solve problem for SMEs. And I'm just going to quickly go there. You can see these are the requirements of the server configuration he did. Uh,
mm,
then he was able to use two solutions. Now, when we were teaching them, we used during the internship, we used one solution. So he researched similar solution and combined these two solutions to solve a problem. That was the area of
mm,
innovation. So we are not coming to show you everything. We are coming to show you how it works with sample template.
mm,
Then you can
mm.
go and solve. Now, this is a solution
Improve,
that he researched. Then
mm,
he was able to quickly, I want to show some of the use cases because of time. Yeah.
mm,
So now let me go. Yeah. So what his project was working on, how do you monitor when a critical server is stressed? Because I have seen in real life where a bank critical server crashed and we had to spend 1 week rebuilding that server.
wow.
I worked on that project. So with solution like this, we would know most of in the consulting industry within 3 years, most of the issues I solved were around servers that crashed or were
Mm,
servers that were overused, overperformed, and there was
formed.
monitoring on those servers until they finally crashed, and we have to start all over. So that was what he was looking. How do we monitor? You can see when high
Yeah,
CPU usage and how do we
usage,
get alerts,
trigger
right?
alerts. Yeah.
Yes. When we see behavior, suspicious behavior, you can see CPU. He was testing those CPU and was able to get email notification. Then you can see we were also able to use firewall status monitoring. We can also monitor our firewall with these kind of solutions. So he was able to do some of this testing, and I like the fact that he was able to integrate it with Slack. So you can get real-time notification when a server is critical, has
Mm,
critical issues. You can
mm.
get email and real-time notification, and that's what is happening in the
Notifications.
real world. In
Wow, real
DevSecOps,
time.
exactly, yes. So in
Yeah.
DevSecOps, you have your code change, it is scanned, and there's an alert notification. Most companies now do an integration with Slack to get real-time issues, alerts, so that they can carry out. I told you earlier that how you measure security is your mean time to detect and your mean time to respond. So there must be on the go, even if you're not on your laptop, your Slack comes up and you're able to see issues like this.
Mm,
So this is a real life problem.
mm,
And if this guy owns a consulting firm and deploy this solution, this
yeah.
cannot be done anything less than 5 to 10 million naira,
Mm,
depending on how many servers you're deploying it for. So you can see what I'm saying.
mm,
This is all in the why this matter in reward. It was giving us the use
yeah.
cases. You know, sorry, I had to just how
Yeah.
you tested it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm,
this is
yeah.
just a bit.
Yeah. So, but because of our time, we can just spend like a minute or two on this so that Kamal can join
All
us.
right. So
Yeah.
yeah. So just like
Mm,
I showed you guys initially, these are
mm,
like the same projects that we worked on. And how we work is that every week when you're given projects, you would be required to do this project and submit, you submit the links to your project, right? So when you submit, we get to review this project and we do that week in, week out. like that. So you can see an example of a project is like this. So you can either submit your project from what's it called? From either in Word document or present PowerPoint, so that you get to what's it called, presented. So we have this kind of project done across in our first cohort, we have over 18 weeks of projects that was done so far. So we get to review this project and we get to give student feedback, ask questions when necessary, and that's what we do. So I don't know what's it called? That's how we track student performance during the internship. So that's all, Mr. Yomi.
So here's another person. So thank you very much, Nelson. It's been a wonderful time. All right. I wish we could just continue with all these projects, but time is not our friend tonight. So before you go, let me reclaim the host. Okay, I've done that so that Kamal can join. So I'll be bringing Kamal in just to share his experience with us. Except that there are two Kamal here. Okay. To share his experience with us. So Kamal, you are welcome. But before Kamal, once again, I want to remind us that the training starts next week. Tuesday, registration closes by next week, Monday. Classes start next week, Tuesday. Training is £350. More details will be shared on the group. And if you want to make inquiries, you can chat up this number for any inquiries you want to make. Let me share this number with you so you could chat up any of these number on WhatsApp or +234. Second number +234 907 993 7803. So for inquiries for registration, the training starts next week, Tuesday. It's £350 one-time payment. We are doing instrumental payments, then that means you are doing 450. That's 250 and 200. So please, if you have further inquiries, these are the numbers to contact for your inquiries. So that being said, I'll be bringing on Kamal. So Kamal, are you right here with us?
I'm here, Mr. Amy. Good evening.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for coming around once again.
Oh, it's a
Right.
it's a pleasure. At least like I'm enjoying the experience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I because of our time, I just want you to introduce yourself to everyone listening. So our students tonight are all based in the UK. They are prospective students coming in for the program. So I just want you to introduce yourself. Yeah, they're all in the UK and how you got to the digital program and your experience with the training, with career coaching, and with the internship. So over to you. So take over the floor.
Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Kamal, and I'm a health worker here in the UK. Okay, along the line, I wanted to switch career. I wanted to do tech, but I wasn't sure which I wanted to do. So I did some research, and I think I find interest in cybersecurity. Okay, now like, where do I start? So at least like I consulted some coaches in cybersecurity, and I was first introduced to Google cybersecurity certification. So after doing that, I needed to do a boot camp. Let me put it that way so that people will understand it better. So like I did research even before I got to see Digital on Facebook. Actually, I got to know Digital on Facebook. But before that, I did research and I found like 2, 3 boot camps. Mostly they were all based in the United States, and they were charging over $1,500 dollars. At that point, trust me, I find it to be very huge. So I didn't actually put in the effort to join. So, and you know one thing about internet these days, because of your cookies here, the things that you do research, you get their feeds on your Facebook. So because I did a lot of research about cybersecurity bootcamp, while scrolling through my Facebook, like Digital popped up, and I got to know you were doing a webinar. So I was like, okay, let me join and hear what these people have to say. At least let me know what they have in their docket. So I joined the webinar, and just like this here, I did join, and I was very pleased with the syllabus, like how the training was going to be, the career coaching, and most importantly, the fees. I find it to be, I wouldn't say cheap, but to me, comparing to the ones that I saw like through my search, I thought this one was quite like a little bit cheaper. So I decided to join. And trust me, I've never regretted joining Hejita. Um, when I joined, I was taken through by Mr. Gbenga. How do you call it? Is it Mr. Gbenga? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mr. Gwenga, yeah.
Mr. Gbenga, yeah. He was my technical trainer, and one lady, sorry, I couldn't keep her name. She was taking me through
Informa.
GRC.
Informa, yeah. Informa,
Yeah,
GRC.
Informa was taking me through GRC. And I had two career coaches, Mr. The one who just spoke first before.
Yeah, it's Sheikh Gwembiniza, then Adebayo. The other one was Adebayo.
Adebayo was taking us through technical career coaching, and Ebenezer was taking us through GRC. So like I did love everything from where we started. Like we started with doing networking. We did in-depth networking because cybersecurity runs on the network. Now the internet is all on the network. So if you don't understand the network, how do you defend it? How do you defend something that you don't know? So like we were taking through networking. We did a lot about networking. Like it took us like about a month doing networking, like with this to Cisco packet tracer. So after that, like we did a lot of like technical labs. We were made to build our own home lab because before I've heard about home lab. So it was like a lot in my head. How do you build home labs? Like, I didn't like where. So like you have to build servers. It was kind of a lot in my head. How do I get server? How do I buy a server? But when I joined Hejita, I was introduced to all those things, like how you deploy the VMware, you can on a number of machines that you want to work with, servers. So we went through, I think it was 6 months training. We went through the 6 months training, and then next came the internship. But before I go through the internship, when I joined the 6 months, at least I was able to do my CC, certified in cybersecurity, offered by IS2 Square. I did that certification. I was able to pass my CompTIA. I think I shared that with all my records. I was able to pass my CompTIA, cybersecurity plus. Yeah, so I came to join the internship, and trust me, the internship, should I say, one of the best experiences I've had in cybersecurity, because I didn't know about tools. Fine, I was using these kind of tools on TryHackMe, Let's Defense. How does the tool work? How do you build the tool? How do you like troubleshoot the tool if there is a problem? I didn't know all that. But through the internship, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, though I can't see your video, but I can hear you.
Sorry, I don't know what's
your
wrong
video
with my
isn't really
connection.
showing. You're showing that I think your network is a bit low, but you can continue, but I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think your video is working now.
So during the internship, we learn how to deploy tools, how to troubleshoot them, how to configure them. So like with the internship, it was very in-depth. It was like a real life thing that you are doing. The internship, I always say, I felt like I was working in a cybersecurity firm. That's how the feeling was like, because everything was real. Everything was real. And one thing I love about the internship is you just don't do and present it. You have to defend what you've done. Okay, this is what Mr. Nelson does. If you come to present, he will ask you questions about it to know you actually did it. How do you defend this? How do you defend that? Okay, you did this. Why did you do it? And what's the benefit of doing that? So with the internship, I felt like we were really working in cybersecurity. So I would say through this journey, being a digital for like 1 year, I've had experience that feels like I've worked in a cybersecurity firm. And even before we started the internship, I think one of our students is also based here in the UK. Actually, he was doing his cybersecurity degree here in UK. He was done with it, joined Hejita. After Hejita, he got a job, and now he's even working. He didn't even join the. He's a Ghanaian as well. I'm a Ghanaian. He's also a Ghanaian. He didn't even join the internship. But during the training, I think he was also able to do his CC, able to do his Computer Security Plus. and he got employed even before we finished, even before we joined the internship.
Oh, what's his name? I think I heard about 3 people in your batch.
Yes.
What is it?
His name is Samuel.
Samuel, okay. Yeah, Benga told me about 3 people in your batch before they finished that he got employed, but we'll try to reach out to him anyway. Maybe you can come around the next time. So I'm listening to you, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I can share his number with you. And
okay.
Yes, and he got the job through, I would say 2 things. 1, the training that he got, and 2, the career coaching. Because before we joined before we joined Hegita, all that we know was like to sit back behind the computer, search for jobs. But no, like Ebenezer taught us how to go to webinars, how to approach HRs, how to talk to them. So that very day that he went to that seminar, I think he sent me 3 different cards of HRs who are hiring managers. So all this experience was through Hegita before, because as I said initially, all that we know was you sit back and then you be searching for employees. We didn't know how to connect, especially on LinkedIn, how to approach hiring managers. But I think through Hegita we got all this experience. So
Are you there?
I would say, yeah, I'm here. I would say Hegita has been very beneficial to us. Very, very beneficial. Yes, there's a whole lot of experience that we've picked up from Hegita. Because before, as I said, I would just hear you can do this, you can do that, but I didn't have the experience of doing it. But coming to Hegita, going through the 6 months intensive training and doing the internship, I think I have the feel of how it feels like working in a cybersecurity firm.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just end on this last question because of our time. So many people saw these projects today, and I was just laughing to myself that when they see all those graphs, patch manager, some of them could just feel, oh, I hope this thing is not going to be so technical, right? So I just want you to tell them where you were before you came into this training internship and where you are right now, so that they understand that people who are doing these things, it's not like they have 2 sets of heads or whatever. So I just want you to demystify this whole thing, this whole patch manager, Sentinel, EDR, Cloudflare. People hearing those things, they could just go, oh, this. So over to you.
Yeah, you see, the same way how they are feeling, the same way I felt. Where I started as a cybersecurity, let me say, potential cybersecurity analyst, as just a reader. I just read about it. I just heard about EDR. I didn't know what EDR was. I just heard the name. I didn't know about Cloudflare. I know firewall because most of our laptops have these firewalls, but I didn't know how it actually works, how it was. As I said, I was just hearing the names, and it's like there were so many in my ears. What is this? What is that? I didn't have any idea what they were. I didn't have any idea, especially when we were made to. We were like, we are going to build home lab. You're going to deploy a server. You're going to deploy Windows 11. You have Windows 12, Kali. I was like, how do I get money to buy all these machines? How do I I can't buy a laptop for Windows 11, buy another one for everything was so much in my head. But coming to Hegita, I got to know those working in cybersecurity are not superhumans. They are just normal people like us learning. Yes, because initially that's why I was like, I felt like cybersecurity was difficult. But trust me, cybersecurity is not difficult. You just need 2 things: dedication, yes, and learning. Once you dedicate your time that you want to do and you learn, it's going to be very easy. You will do it and do it well. You see these projects that we did with the presentation, I had no idea. Initially, I used to see, during my career coaching, our career coaches advise us, do your projects and share them on LinkedIn. Do your projects and share them on Medium. I was like, how do I share? I didn't know how to take screenshots. So all these were stories I was hearing, but I didn't have a feel how it feels like. Because okay, they said we should do projects and share it. If I do project, how do I share it? I didn't know how to present a project. I didn't even know how to even do documentation. And talking to you like this, initially, I can't be talking in front of people like this. Let me put it that way. But joining the internship, Because you just come present it to Mr. Nelson and he will tell you, well done. No, he will comment, give feedback, and you have to come and present it and defend what you've done. So all these things that we've been doing, these projects that you were asking, it was same to me. They were so much in my head. I'll hear EDR, Cloudflare, Sentinel. I even heard about cloud. What is even cloud? I didn't know. I thought it's something that is there. They were all things that were like, I was hearing them like a story, just like we do hear stories of like inexistable things. So I didn't know how they existed, but I got to know they are not things. As I said, people who do them are superhumans. It's something that like everybody who wants to do can do, and we are doing it.
Exactly.
We are doing it. And during Mr. Nelson's presentation, he said something that's like, should I say, that is our dream. I have somebody in the team that is our dream. We were trained to be consultants, not just to be cybersecurity analyst or SOC analyst. We were trained to be consultants. So I have somebody that we are in talking terms that we want to put a consulting firm. So these projects are not things that
interesting. So thank you very much. It's not just about looking for a job, right?
No,
You
it's
could
not just about
actually
set up your
build
own
a
business.
consulting firm.
A consulting firm, yes.
From it.
Especially for SMEs.
So,
As you said,
thank you very much.
SMEs lack like a little bit of
especially
defenses,
with the tools you have been exposed to.
as a tools that we've been exposed to. There are tools that you can deploy to any SMEs.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Kamal. Really appreciate your time tonight, and do have a wonderful time. Bye for now. So we'll catch up. Yeah, bye. So Alison will also reach out to you. Yeah.
Okay.
So, people, once again, as we round up tonight, to give you more information, classes start next week, Monday, and next week Tuesday. Registration closes next week Monday. The class is £350 for one-time payment, and it's £350 for one-time payment. If you are doing the instrumental, it's 250 and £200 for the payment. So we are bringing in another student, but I'm trying to find her on the Zoom, right? Mrs. Linda, but I'm trying to check for her Zoom name. So she will just be with us for a few minutes to share her experience. And right. So, but I'm not sure she'll be able to join us tonight. So thank you, everybody, for your time here tonight. Just to give you an overview. So what we have are live classes. The classes are live, and the replay is made available. Classes starts next week, Tuesday. Classes runs Tuesdays, Thursdays. Bonus classes on Friday, that is the GRC. 350 British pounds one-time payment. If you have inquiries, you want to register, and payment is via the secured Stripe link, secure Stripe link. For those of you who can pay in Naira, you have apps. It's also fine. You can pay in Naira, and to pay in Naira, you just pay 700,000 Naira for that. I've explained all those things. So if you have further questions, you can always reach out to the numbers for your questions, right? You can always reach out to them. So all this other information that you seek, and somebody is asking, does the internship, is it paid? No. So everything, the only money you ever pay is this £350. It covers career coaching, tutoring, internship, right? That's the only money you will ever pay, right? So that's the only money you will ever pay, right? So that is very important, very important. That's the only money you will ever pay, right? So, so that is very important. Certifications are there. certifications are there. So every other question you have, there are enough certifications during the training. So don't worry about certification. Certification is the list of your problems, right? So if you have other questions, you can always reach out to me, right? So I think we eventually got, okay, well, we didn't get that. We didn't get right. So people do have a wonderful time. So if you have questions, you can reach out. If you have questions, you can reach out. Oh, I finally found, okay, she's here. She's here, okay. Hands are raised, right? Oh, finally, so Mrs. Linda is here. Mrs. Linda is here. Mrs. Linda is here, and she's joining us. But our time is fast spent, but she will still share with us in a few minutes about our experience with Agital. Mrs. Linda is one of our, I would say, evangelists. She keeps bringing students in truckloads and buses to Agital, right? I think we should give you a maybe deputy CEO position. Good evening, ma. How are you doing, ma?
I'm good, thank you. I've been here, so I don't know what happened.
I missed the spelling. I was typing LIND.
Okay.
Right.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, ma. Good to see you. Right. So how was work today?
We thank God. We've done it.
Yeah. So let's get to know you and your experience with Agital, and so over to you, ma.
Okay, so good evening once again. My name is Linda. My background is majorly in agile delivery. So I work as a senior agile delivery manager in the financial service industry. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, ma. Loud and
Okay.
clear.
All right, cool. So basically, over time, I've really enjoyed cybersecurity for some awkward reason, but I think it's majorly recognizing how important cyber is in today's technical landscape. So I'm now intentionally trying to expand my technical skills to become more, should I say, well-rounded, and position myself to find that meaningful transition into the cyberspace. Naturally, I do love upskilling myself, and I got to know about Digital through a friend, and kind of it just became clear that the reason why Digital is really highly recommended is what we've all heard today, even based on the last person that spoke. Is it Kamal? And for me, what stood out was the strong focus, or is the strong focus you have on practical hands-on learning, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. And based on his experience as well, you can see how he was really keen on the practical aspect. And since then, since joining, my confidence in your quality, the program, has been really great. I've tried different things. I've tried what's this one? We did full stack. I've tried
full
that.
stack, yeah.
I've tried data analytics with you. I've also tried manual testing. I did enjoy that very much. But I know that where I want to be is the cyberspace based on what we've been through. But the thing is, when I initially joined, I was more focused on building my knowledge in GRC. I wasn't interested in the technical aspects. I wasn't even focusing on technical things because in my head, it's technical. I can't do it. And that's what he also said. Like, it kind of frightens you that you can't do anything technical, but that's not the case, because based on how everything is broken down, it's easier to kind of build your understanding. But I was focused on GRC, so nothing else mattered to me at the time. And that experience I built gave me the confidence to even apply for a very senior role, a senior GRC manager. I did 4 stages of interview. It went well. I didn't get the job. I don't feel bad that I didn't get it. but it kind of made me realize I wasn't ready in as much as I thought I was ready. I was ready to go in and do the job, but it would be nice to have that technical exposure. So I'm back again, like to kind of now focus on the technical aspect
yeah.
and learn it more, because I found out from the interviews, even though I answered the questions, I felt like I was lacking in that technical area. So I'm back. If your program wasn't meaningful, I wouldn't even have the confidence to get to that point where going for a very senior role. And the feedback wasn't even bad. I don't know. I just feel like maybe God feels it's not time yet. Possibly you need to do more, which is why I'm here again. And like you said, even though I haven't got a job yet in that field, I'm bringing anyone that cares to listen about digital. Come and do a program, come and upskill yourself. And that's why I'm back here today, because that experience has made me really understand more of GRC. I'm still going to learn that, but I need that critical understanding of that
technical side of things. Yeah.
So if you're coming in with the notion that you don't need the technical, you're very wrong. You do need it, because you need to link up everything. Because say, for example, vulnerability assessment, if you haven't really done any of those, you're not going to know what to do in that situation. So yeah, basically that's why I'm back again.
Yeah, so let's talk about that job, right? So first of all, when you applied for the job, were you actually expecting that they will call you for the interview, right?
No, I wasn't. So my
Okay.
CV was revamped and ready, but I didn't think that I would get even past the first stage, and I got to the last stage. And funny enough, they only said that I've got so much experience in agile, and they're not very agile, that they're very confident I can do the job. So you can see the feedback is really, it makes no sense. I started to question, like, so God, why did you even make me go through this 4 stages if at the end of the day I'm not even going to get the job? But I looked back and said, no, maybe you need to learn more. It's not time for you yet. So, yeah.
Well, another thing is that it's back to the law of averages, right? But getting to the 4 stages, the fourth stage of the interview, with maybe less than a year experience in cybersecurity, just shows that you can do it, right? It shows that there are opportunities for you right there, because you told me that it's a very senior role, and when you got to the last stage, you were quite surprised that, oh, wow, how did I get here? So there are opportunities in the industry, and with just a little bit more experience here and there, they will always come, right? So that's just it. There's always an angle to this thing. So I also want you to shed more light on students that you have referred to us, and what you have heard from them, right? You have shared your own experience. So what has been their own experience with Digital?
Yeah, I know one of them is supposed to come back for another training. I don't know if she's joined it yet. And
Okay.
they all feel the experience is different from what they've had in the past. So before I even got into Scrum Agile, I also had a training. It wasn't as hands-on as this, so I can see the difference because I've done something else in the past before. But here it breaks down everything for you. And I believe that that's the same thing everyone is going to say. And he mentioned the cost, the camel guy, and that was really interesting, seeing that you have so much to give and you're not greedy, if that's the word I'll say, where you want to charge an arm and a leg with the kind of experience you give. So everyone that I know that has done this training, somebody I know is doing data and he is so happy because he's been doing all sorts of courses. And when I did mention, he's really enjoying it, and that's the experience everyone has had. I wouldn't even introduce someone if I feel like something is not working. Do you get what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work.
Exactly.
Have to put in
Exactly.
the work. You don't just come and sit down and expect everything to fall. No, you have to put in the work. Like the experience I also had with manual testing, my team, I did almost all the work for them, but I said, okay, that's fine. I was angry at first, but I said, you know what, I'm learning. So if they don't want to learn, that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's for me. So we all have to put in the work if we want to really get this right. After the training, I still go back, watch some videos. I still do external searches and learning. But this, I've always wanted to do cyber. I think 2029, there was something they were doing in UK for free, cybersecurity. But I didn't really learn anything. I don't know. So, but here, the difference is
You learned.
I did because I won't even have the balls to go and start applying for a senior role. And I even, I won't even do that. And I even got certified. CISM is a 4-hour exam and I passed really well. But that's because of what I've learned here. So I'm looking forward to next steps in the technical space where I'm going to
technical side.
I'm
So
really going to get involved, heavily involved.
it seems you have this belief that you didn't get the job maybe due to the technical side that you were not very sound in. Do you think that was the reason?
Well, I feel like it's just for me to prepare myself better because maybe if I had gotten the job, I might be fired the next day. Who knows? So
because
the questions were answered. It's GRC. They didn't even ask like technical questions. So that's why I was like, why? But inside of me, I feel you need to connect the dots, like from start to finish before you even get to just GRC part. So yeah, I feel like I need the technical part. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's been a wonderful time having you here tonight, and we always talk. We always
And thank
chat.
you for everything you do for all of us. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Ma. So people, have a wonderful time. You can always send me a chat on the WhatsApp numbers, and we'll take it up from there. So if there's any question I've not answered, just drop the chat. So bye for now. See you all in the class. Bye.